The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
If you want to hear about the big Capuano Classic 4-on-4 hockey tournament coming back to Evergreen Park at the end of February, the organizers on the show that was out last week, and make sure after you listen to this episode that you are subscribed to the EP Podcast, anywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com, because Village trustee Mark Marzullo joins me next week here at the 9-Foot Homemade Oak Bar. On today's episode, we're going to help you out with your Super Bowl party or how to throw a party in general with an expert, and Glenn Pniewski from the Village has the latest and greatest from all over Evergreen Park. It's all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. They invest in this community because they love this area as much as you do. Plus, their Total Access checking account gives you free ATMs nationwide. That means any ATM you use, if there's a fee, they're putting the money back in for you. That's what makes it free. Plus, there's a $300 bonus with qualifying activities when you sign up for that Total Access checking account. Great mobile banking tools, award-winning customer service, and a really friendly staff. I love stopping in there in that iconic building at 95th and Pulaski. Do so yourself. The First National Bank of Evergreen Park, member FDIC. Colleen Klimczak is sitting down here. How are you, Colleen?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
You're a professional organizer.
I am.
We've had you on before, and you do a podcast on a network called Your Organized Life.
I do. Thank you so much.
Yes, people enjoy, and you try to make people a little bit more organized and a little less stressed, and I think that's really cool. We have the Taylor Swift Bowl coming up, otherwise known as the Super Bowl.
Is that what we're calling it these days?
I don't know. Okay. I mean, look, let me tell you something. I think it's great. I think it's great. Taylor Swift's watching football, and little girls everywhere want to watch football with their dads. I think if you have a problem with Taylor Swift rooting on Travis Kelce, you need to start looking in the mirror and wondering why you have that problem. Have a serious conversation with yourself, because I really don't care. Okay,
isn't that such a nice, supportive thing, though? Yeah, that's what we should be celebrating.
It looks real too. At first I was like, this is some great PR right here, right? We got Travis Kelce out there. He's a tight end, and he ends up with Taylor Swift, and she sits there and she cheers. But why do I believe this is a real relationship, right? And then I see them after he wins the AFC Championship. I'm like, no. They dig each other.
Yeah,
so
that's the real deal. Yeah,
right, we're good. It's cool. And I think the thing that really told me that is a comfortable relationship, you tell me if I'm crazy here.
You know I don't watch football, right?
Okay, but you understand relationships, right?
I hope so.
You know who Taylor Swift is, right?
I do. Okay,
you know that
so
she's
I'm
dating
qualified.
the tight end of Kansas City by the name of Travis Kelce.
Okay, I am qualified then. Okay, yes and yes.
Okay, so she's down on the field. She's kissing him. They're all excited. He's worn out after the game, and they're walking across the field. And here comes Travis's brother, who is just a newly retired center for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
He's been partying all throughout the playoffs. The man doesn't need to train anymore, so he's filling his gullet with beer nonstop and partying and tailgating with people and everything.
Beautiful.
And he sees little bro, and he runs up to little bro. Little bro just leaves Taylor Swift, billionaire, biggest name in the world.
Totally fine with that.
He just abandons his girlfriend to hug it out with his brother, and Taylor just kind of moves off to the side, and you're like, that right there told me that was a normal relationship.
Yep, that is confidence. That is fabulous.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, enough about those two.
Yep.
There's gonna be a football game.
There's the more important. I got you.
We're going to have a lot of people watching football that don't normally watch football. There's going to be a lot of weird conversations where somebody in the back, while eating some dip, is going to be like, so how many points do you get for a touchdown? It's going to be like that. That's what the Super Bowl always is like. Yeah.
I used to be that person. I'm just saying. So
it's fine.
But I go to a Super Bowl party every year.
I've been invited to one.
Up on the north side has one every year, and it's awesome. And that's what we do.
I think the American Legion is having one here locally if you're looking for a place to go.
Oh,
and then I know that I'm probably going to one of my friends holding, because he sent me an invite the other day. But if you're throwing a party. That's why I wanted to bring you in here.
Okay.
Because we're getting close. We got people considering whether or not they want to have people over. People are considering a Super Bowl party. You're an organizer. You're good about figuring out how to do things like this.
Yep.
Give me and those that are listening tips for throwing a party. Doesn't even need to be a Super Bowl party, but I mean, let's think of it kind of in the frame of the fact that people are going to have parties for the Super Bowl. Okay. What do you tell people as you're organizing their houses, organizing their lives, how they should handle a party so they don't get overwhelmed?
Brilliant. I love that. So the first thing, when you kind of floated this topic by me a few minutes ago, my first thought was, okay, that's 13 days away. Right?
It's not far.
Right? Like it's a week from yesterday or 2 weeks from yesterday.
It's long enough though.
It is. Yeah. It is. And so, but that's typically my question, right? So if you said, hey, Kyle, I want to have 60 people over here for dinner tomorrow, the list might be a little different, right? Like, okay, we need to get a catering order in, like that's it. But first things first is, what do you want to have? Right? Where's it going to be? And it sounds like, let's just imagine it's here or at my house, right? Yeah. Okay. And what's the time frame? So we've got our why we're doing it. We've got the where, and we've got the time frame. So
let's say in the instance of a Super Bowl party.
Yes.
There's like a pre-party.
Oh, of course.
There's like how early? 4 hours of like pregame. Yes. And then you have an actual game that should last 3 and really last almost to like 5 with the pomp and circumstance. So like it's an all day into the evening affair.
It is.
And so, you're not going to have like one meal. You're going to have grazing. You're going to probably have to bring out stuff at some point hours after the first set of food. There's got to be like pizza showing up or something like that. Like depending on how big it is, you've got to plan for a long amount of time.
That's the awesome part about it, right?
Right. So how do you get somebody prepared for that?
I got you. Okay. So what did you just say? You said the time frame for the party itself. So how long, when do you actually want to have people start arriving? If you want to start it at noon with pregame, or if you want to say, come a little early. Kickoff is what, 5 something usually?
Yeah, something like
that. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just assume it's 5 something. So hey, if everybody wants to start coming over at like 2, we'll have chili, we'll have pizza, we'll have
something simple,
right. And something that you can make a lot of. Right?
Is it better to do that than the spread of hors d'oeuvres at the beginning?
Well, I was going to say you're going to do 2.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like choosing if you want to do the meal first and then apps, or if you do start at 2, maybe you do apps and then dinner at dinner time, like who knows? But again, when you plan and when you have your start time, that's going to dictate kind of knowing that you want to have 2 different, I won't call them seatings, 2 different events. Yeah.
Colleen, you say event, and I'm going to just take a moment in the middle of this discussion to remind everybody about a big event coming up. Saturday, February 10th, 6 p.m. until 9:30 in the evening. It is the Evergreen Park Library Foundation Sip and Sample fundraiser. Drink amongst the books and eat some great local food. Mardi Gras themed this year. It's an evening of sipping wine paired with samples of delicious, locally prepared cuisine. Proceeds for this 21 and over fundraiser benefiting the Evergreen Park Library Foundation, and it also helps fund some much needed updates to the youth services area. $30 tickets. Live music, wine, food, dessert samples, cash bar available, a split the pot, and prize baskets. Already confirmed for the event, Chai Tung, La Cochina, Spoke and Vine going to be there, 115 Bourbon Street, Chef Morrissey, Chuck's, and Baracos. Get more details at evergreenparklibrary.org. Meanwhile, you're talking about 2 different events in the middle of a Super Bowl party. That's a lot.
Oh, yes, it is.
And the thing is, you want to enjoy your party.
That would be good.
So what do you tell somebody who's hosting a party so that they can enjoy it? Because otherwise they're putting out food, they're clearing it, they're putting out food, they're clearing it, and they never actually enjoy their own party.
So very often I forget to eat in my own party. I have a good time though, but it'll be like 10 o'clock and I'll be like, I wonder why I'm starving, because I will have forgotten to eat a meal. But anything that you can do ahead of time, everything that you can do ahead of time, you should do, right? So there shouldn't be like chopping of vegetables for the veggie tray at the party. That makes no sense. Having it like already assembled in the fridge, or again, if you want to do a catering order and have somebody else bring that, or you start assigning things to people, it should not be assembly required when it arrives at your house, right? So by 2 o'clock, if that's when your party starts, everything should be assembled and ready to just pull out of the fridge and take the plastic wrap off, right?
Like, is it better to assign things? You mentioned assigning things.
I love assigning things,
because if you're not
right?
assigning it, if you're like, like, here's the thing. You're going to say there's a party. And then somebody's going to say, tell us what we can bring.
Yes.
And I hate that because I'm always like, bring yourself. I guess I'm doing it all, right?
Okay,
like, I want them to offer.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, I'm bringing, the dip. And I'm like, thank you. I'm bringing this. Like, I want them to volunteer what they're actually bringing.
Fabulous.
And when they sit there and go, what do you want? Just let me know what you want me to bring. I'm like, I'm not going to request it. Then I feel like a jerk. So then I end up doing everything. But you're saying assign things.
Oh, yes.
Because otherwise you could have 4 people walk in with dishes that need to be heated up. And now you've got a disaster.
Yeah, it's really annoying. So there is something that's really great. It's called a presumptive close. So here's how that sounds.
Sounds like something I learned in my AP English class.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Here's a presumptive close. Chris, I'm really glad that you're coming to the Super Bowl party. Would you like to bring an appetizer or an already prepared appetizer or dessert?
Oh, make sure you throw in already prepared. I saw you do that.
Right? I know, right? I totally edited that. And for everybody who's just listening, like, Chris gets to watch me flail my hands as though I'm actually, like, I'm doing it again as right now. But we presume. So it's a presumptive close. So you are leading them down the path that you would like them to take. Okay. So would you like to bring an appetizer or a case of beer? You know what I mean? Like,
case of beer.
Specifically, would you like to bring A or B? Because then you have some idea of what's going to show up at your house. Because otherwise, we have no idea.
That's the big thing. You want to know what people are actually bringing, and then you can kind of plan around that, what else you want to add and things like that.
Yes.
You've thrown a lot of parties.
I do.
You've given advice to a lot of people.
I do.
Catering costs money, but on the other hand, you always throw that out there first. You always go, you know what, if you want to enjoy your party, just make somebody show up with it all. It's worth the money. Like, I'm trying to figure that out.
We evolved over time. Like, that wasn't always my way. And there's some things like, Thanksgiving dinner. No, I don't cater that. Like, we make that, right? Christmas dinner, I like a nice sit down meal. Like, I'm not going to cater those out. A Super Bowl party, and I could go to Chuck's and, Burbank and get 10 pounds of brisket.
You could do sandwiches. You could do all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Hello.
Right.
Like, and I'll pick it up at noon that day and I'll pay for it. And it'll be ready to, why not? So having maybe a combination of the two, because it is expensive. I understand that too. So are there things that you can do and that you can do well and easy and before that day, right? Like things that you can assemble a day or two before, dips that you can put together like on Friday and just toss in the oven at 1:30 if it starts at 2, whatever. Chili is great to make vast quantities of and put in the crock pot.
Chili's big. Just put it in there and cook it. Right, exactly.
Done.
Yeah.
So maybe finding the balance. There, like I said, in choosing, maybe you do the meal part and everybody else does the dips, or vice versa. Like, it gives you some idea of what people will have, and then letting other people be kind of flexible or creative. But then at least there will be some basic food and sustenance to go with the case of beer or whatever else is showing up. So,
all right. Well, I already know your answer as we finish this up.
Oh, okay.
I know my answer as well.
All right.
End of the party's over. I'm normally exhausted.
Oh my
I don't clean anything till the next day. I would imagine you stay up all night making sure your house is perfect and ready to go the next day. Yeah.
It's not perfect. And I got to say, like, I love having parties. I love having people at my house. I love party leftovers. Like eating stuff the next day.
But you're using plastic everything and paper, whatever, to throw it all away afterwards. So you want to be easy clean up and be done in the evening.
And other things I will do is I will unload a dishwasher so it's completely empty half an hour before everybody comes.
Okay.
And so like that's all done. And so stuff doesn't accumulate on the counter if people are done with it. So if I actually use dishes and not just plastic. But I do like to just make sure that things are put away. It's not perfect. It is so not perfect.
I'm sure your parties are perfect.
But the dishwasher is running and the, counters are cleared and there's no random glasses of wine or bottles of beer lingering somewhere around the house. So I do try to do it the night before just because you're really tired the next morning too.
Yeah, but I'm tired at night. I've been partying.
I know. So I've
been partying. I probably just lost money on this game because the NFL is rigged. Because it's rigged. It is.
I am so not getting into that conversation.
It's 100% rigged. Are you kidding me? I mean, there was blatant pass interference in the end zone on the Chiefs, and Lamar Jackson throws in the traffic. I get it, but his receiver's thrown on the ground, pushed in the back. The ball's picked off in the fourth quarter. No call whatsoever because they wanted Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. I'm convinced of it. I'm sorry. They wanted Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl.
No.
And they didn't want Eminem there because he was flipping off the crowd. And that was why. That's why the 49ers won. That's why Taylor Swift and the Chiefs are in. That's
that's
what
I'm
I
from
believe.
Michigan, right?
Yeah. You were rooting for the Lions and it went bad for you.
A lot of my family, again,
Yeah.
I'm not really, terribly involved in
I wanted
football,
them to win.
But
their coach doesn't believe in kicking field goals when he needs to take the points and go up by 3 scores. Yeah.
So there's been colorful language.
I'm sure. I would have had real colorful language if my coach did that. My team can't win more than 6 or 7 games a year, though. So what are you going to do?
What are we going to do? So I was actually with my family in Kalamazoo, and there was colorful language going into the game yesterday, and then I'm, like I said, not going down that path, but yeah, like easy cleanup. Or take the dishes with, send the dirty dishes back with your people, or
throw the dishes away, buy new dishes at the store.
Throw the dishes away, and
that's how you run it.
Yeah,
that's how you go. Throw all the glasses in the garbage. Just move on.
That is okay.
Light the house on fire, build a new one.
don't
Colleen
know about that.
Klimczak, Your Organized Life is the name of the podcast. You can learn all about her company, and maybe even reach out to her because she gives all kinds of good tips, and she helps people whose lives are a mess. She does it for me for free. She doesn't even realize it. Like, she does this podcast, and every week I tell her about all the crap going on with me, and then she fixes it. But she can probably do it for you as well.
Yeah, I will. You're not a mess.
Yes, I am, Colleen. Yes, I am. The Repeat Podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you proudly by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. An amazing array of wines. Depending on your taste, there is something for everyone and something that you may never have thought you would like. And once you try it, you're going to be hooked. Really good food, a great vibe. It's like being in a ritzy hotel lobby. 21 and over establishment, and if you find something you like, you can purchase it from the wine shop. See more at SpokenVineWines.com. For the Word on the Street this week, we're bringing in a guest. Joining me on the phone line right now from the Village of Evergreen Park, Glenn Pniewski is on the line. Glenn knows all the inner workings of everything happening in the EP, and I like checking in with him from time to time in case I've missed something. What's going on, my friend?
I'll tell you, all 3 departments here in this facility, they hit the new year with their feet hitting the ground, running, So, and as a matter of fact, I'm actually sitting in my office here in the Office of Citizen Services. So if you're hearing phones ringing in the background of people talking, it's the busy time of the year. Just imagine, I feel like I'm Walter Cronkite in the middle of the Watergate scandal. You know what I mean? So,
well, what is the busy thing going on right now with OCS? Like, I would never think that you would have ringing phones going nonstop during a workday. So break it down for me. What's happening?
Well, here in our office, and I'll hit all offices, but in the OCS office first, we are, of course, taking the calls for reservations because AARP will be starting doing the free tax preparation for Evergreen Park seniors here. And actually, we're taking reservations right now for February. AARP will be giving us a book to do March and April appointments, but that comes another week or so down the road. So yeah, that accounts for a lot of it here. Plus, we've got we've got a couple of activities going on in here today. Our Parkettes, our dance group is coming in, and then of course we do the free movies in our library for seniors on Monday and Tuesday. So yeah, 1:00 it gets kind of hectic around here, but it's better than doing nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the Office of Citizen Services also does all these trips and everything. Are there any winter trips, or are those on a break right now?
They are being assimilated right now. So, this week, actually, Beth, our office director, she is out of town, and I think she does have some phone interviews scheduled next week for our travel agents. So yes, by the time the new OCS newsletter goes out, I believe in the beginning of March, we will have some information on the day trips, the multi-day trips, which were wildly successful last year. they had gone down to Tennessee to the Smokies. That was I want to say in September. That was a successful trip. They did a 2-day trip down to Springfield in June that I actually went on, and I thought that was really good. So it'll be more of the same. Those are wildly popular.
Those trips and the things that OCS does, I think a lot of people just assume it's just for seniors, and I would imagine that's the majority of who goes because of the schedule that they keep compared to maybe the younger crowd. But is it open to everybody?
Absolutely. Yeah, anybody. Yeah. The higher the numbers, the better. So, we've had trips to some gardens, up in the suburbs, and, we've had 20 somethings on there. So, we advertise it to anybody. And as you suggest, they will go out on our email blast and the Facebook pages as well. Anybody's welcome to come on these trips, and they have a great time.
Awesome. What else do we have coming up here? I know there's a few events. I think they got the thing that's near the ice rink coming up where I want to say it's like some sort of fest that they do.
Right. Well, they have this Saturday coming, February the 3rd is our annual Flake Fest, and that is at the ice rink. That begins with a free Learn to Skate hockey clinic at 12:30. That goes for an hour, and then the rest of the afternoon is free open skate and skate rental from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And Baracos will be on hand selling pizza. I don't know if they're going to have a truck or if they'll be operating out of the concession area. So. That's always a good time too. And then of course the ice rink is open daily anyway for open skate or hockey, and that schedule is available on our website or on the Recreation Department's Facebook page, which is Evergreen Park Recreation. So and that does that's very popular, during the winter too. So after Flake Fest, is there something big that you guys are already prepping for? Yeah, well, at the same place, they have now this takes place in February, over 2 days, Saturday the 24th and Sunday the 25th. It is the Village of Evergreen Park 3rd annual 4-on-4 Capuano Classic hockey. And this is available and open to adults 21 years and over, and just a big hockey tournament over 2 days. So give us a call here at the Recreation Department for that, 229-3373. They have a lot going on here. Back to the OCS here. If you're a senior and would like to get out and have some fun, visit us here on Wednesday, February the 7th for the monthly meeting of the Evergreens, where it's a very informal group. They just come in. It's bring your bag lunch, but we provide coffee and tea and snacks. And it's people come in and talk, and they're actually playing this game of left, right, center, which they seem to enjoy. So bring in $3, which goes into the pot, and have a good time. That's at noon here at the Community Center on February 7th. And also, if I know the weather outside has not been conducive to getting out and walking, but that's okay because we have that taken care of, because you can do that indoor here at the Community Center on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. for an hour. As the weather gets chilly, come and join an indoor walking group, stay in shape, walk at your own pace in a safe indoor facility. So basically, you're just coming in and walking figure eights throughout the whole building. And if you are in the mood for a Swedish meatball luncheon and the music of vocalist James Libera, you make a reservation to come to our lunch on Thursday, February the 15th at 11 a.m. here at the Community Center. It's a $10 ticket, which you can buy in advance here at the Community Center by the 12th. That's and the tickets are already going on that one, so that one's moving pretty quick. And of course, our friend Paisha in the youth department. Yeah, let's talk youth department. What does Paisha have going on? She's got cookie decorating in the youth center coming up on Wednesday, February the 14th from 3:30 to 5. That is open to grades 5 to 12. And in addition to that, because she has her ongoing open gym basketball over at the Maplewell Center, and those are Fridays from 5:30 to 7:30. That is open from grades 5 to 8. And then on Mondays, they do the same thing for high school students, same place. And then they do open gym volleyball on Wednesdays same age group. And of course, the youth center is open here from 3 to 6 for students from grade 5 to 12. You've seen that. I mean, she's got so much for kids to do: video games and a pool table, and basketball. She runs a good show over there.
Glenn Pniewski's got it all. And I appreciate him jumping in here in the middle of a hustle and bustle. I mean, I don't know how high you have your speakers turned up. Me with my headphones, I can hear the ringing of phones and the bustling behind them. And I think
Sure.
To get that impression of what it's like in the middle of the day where you work at, I never thought that a village the size of Evergreen would have that much going on. I think it's amazing.
I did that, and again, we're doing this from my office here because I wanted you to hear that. It's
You're like, I want people knowing that we're working hard here.
I'm an old-time radio guy. I like the sound effects. You know what I mean? So,
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. Back by popular demand, because I got a couple of comments last time she was on the show. My daughter Audrey is sitting down here to wrap up this episode.
Yep. Hello.
I figured I would check in with you, sweetheart. So, prom dress that was just purchased,
Correct.
and this was quite a process. Your aunt, your grandmother involved in this. You went to at least 2 places, right? You went to a resale thing.
Yes, I went over to Macaulay where they take all the prom dresses from last year.
The used prom dresses.
Yes.
Because guess what? You never use this thing again.
No.
It costs a ridiculous amount of money, and you never use it again.
Yeah, and so they resell them at like discounted prices, which is great.
Right.
But the whole thing is that obviously each dress is tailored to whoever wore it, so it's not really something you can go and like purchase unless you're somehow the same body type as that person.
Yeah, here's the thing that I find really funny is the amount of effort put into finding a dress for prom.
Yes.
Whereas the guys, I'm sure it's the same now as it was back
Put
when
on a
I was
suit.
Yeah. I just found out what color she was using.
Yeah.
And then I picked out the vest color that matched it. I didn't do cummerbunds. We had vest. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I did a vest, and then I rented a tux, and then I returned it the next morning.
Yeah.
And that's all I did.
And some people do rent their prom dresses, from what I understand, or like
That'd be a
buy
smart
them
way to
and
do
then give
things.
them back.
That'd be a smart way to do
So
things.
the one I got, we did like talk over it, where you can get it altered, so I can get it altered into like a regular like cocktail dress or something and wear it later.
Oh, so you may keep it.
Yeah.
This may be used more than once.
Correct.
I like that. This is why you're my daughter. That was
But
smart.
right now I still have to get it altered for prom because I have to get it fit to my body style.
Right.
So
Next thing is finding out which guy is going to end up taking you.
Correct.
Is there a list? Are there feats of strength to figure out which one it's going to be? How does this work?
nah, I got a guy in mind, and if not,
Really?
I'll ask someone else.
All right, we'll talk more about that
Yes.
guy after we're done with the show. Before I let you go, though, this announcement brought to you by SidSauce.net. All the hot sauces you could possibly imagine, all the flavors you could think of, all the peppers grown in Evergreen Park, and they're delivered to your door, these delicious hot sauces. Check out everything at SidSauce.net. We talked about you trying to figure out which college you were going to go to. I don't think it's official where you are going, but
It's not official.
the first choice came in, and everybody I tell that where you got into is so super impressed by it. And I think that's really cool because you had gotten into every other school, but ILL.
I.
Yeah, Architectural Studies, the College of Architectural Studies. Audrey Lanuti has been accepted over at the University of Illinois.
Yes.
Yeah, early admission too.
Early admission.
Now you just got to figure out how to pay for it.
Correct. See, that's where you come in.
No, I got nothing. I'm
Surprise.
broke. I'm a podcaster.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.